Okay, so welcome to our second round table. And today I have with me virtually Jessica Warren from CNSC and Chantel Carnegie, who works for as an occupational therapist. So we thought it would be a good idea to do this virtually for a couple of reasons. One is both Jessica and Chantel are actually working from home. They haven't been in the office for a few weeks now. And it was to give folks an idea who don't have the opportunity to participate in virtual meetings, some idea what it's like. And the second point is that more and more the organization is using this means of communication and this means of meeting. So we should be getting used to this because I think it's here to stay. I think it's going to stick. Anyhow, with that, I'm just going to ask Jessica and Chantel how things are going for them, how they're managing working virtually and also working in the community virtually. So I'll start with Jessica. So Jessica, how's it going? How are things working from home? How are things supporting folks in the community virtually?
So far, so good. There's definitely been a lot of changes over the last few weeks. I think there's been a large learning curve for all the organizations as they move to this working from home platform. And there's been a few bumps along the way, but I kind of see things going a little bit smoother now as there's been a few weeks gone by and everyone's adjusting to this kind of new way of working.
So in terms of supporting folks in the community, I mean, are you interfacing with them through this kind of medium, through the phone? How are you doing that? Help me understand that.
There's been a little bit of both. So a lot of conversations over the phone with my clients, reassuring them about their court processes and dates and things like that, but also organizing video conferencing between them and myself and the lawyers and the Crown attorneys, etc. Trying to make sure that everyone can still be together on the same page, and there's something about seeing each other while we're all working together that's comforting for our clients and service providers alike, I think.
So they are generally speaking okay with kind of working through that medium versus face to face.
I would say my clients in general do really, really well with it. Many of them are in their early 20s, and so they're used to technology and embrace it fairly well. I would suggest that maybe the bigger challenge has been getting all of our service providers on the same page. There's been a lot of challenges with service providers using different platforms and agency requirements for specific platforms versus other agencies that don't let you use a certain platform because they're unaware of the confidentiality that it provides or the privacy that it provides. So it's probably been harder there than for our clients to adjust. They've done quite well.
So you mentioned confidentiality and privacy and some of the challenges. What other challenges have you faced over the last few weeks?
There's certainly been a lot of work and thought that has gone into confidentiality in general over here in my place. For a number of reasons, the sharing of paperwork has been a challenge because we're sending private documents between myself and lawyers and the courts, and they all need to be password protected and sent safely. And then getting clients to provide consents in a way that's going to make sure that we're following proper protocols and covering myself, but then also balancing my family and the space that they take up in my house and finding that protected space within my house where I can speak openly to my clients and about my clients without breaching their confidentiality with my daughter and my husband overhearing.
Right. Yeah, which is obviously, as you say, one of the kind of challenges that working from home presents if you're in a house with other folks. And these days, more and more people are working from home, as part of a bigger family, right? So Chantel, moving over to you. I mean, you are also at home. One of the benefits that you get actually from virtual meeting is you get the opportunity to peek inside other people's living rooms.
I
But,
know.
but you're also working from home, and you're supporting folks more that are kind of more residential clients rather than community-based clients. So how's it working for you? How's it going for you?
It's been interesting. Yeah, there's definitely been some benefits to it. The commute is good. Uh, it takes much less time in the mornings, to get ready. But it's been quite interesting. I don't know. My caseload is different. Like my day-to-day work is very different because a lot of the physical natured referral issues that we get, we've kind of had to put on hold. And at the same time, we've had an influx of new things that are popping up because of the changes to people's routines and the restrictions that have been put in place. So the actual like client work that I'm doing has changed quite significantly, I think. And I mean, trying to sort out how to do it virtually has been a huge learning curve. I've never done this before. It's not something that you get taught in school. I never had a work experience or anything where I was trying to provide service through the computer. And I think all the healthcare providers, across the province are kind of having to figure this out as we go. So it's been interesting. Like there's been some things about it that have been good and been a bit eye-opening, and obviously the tech has been a bit of a challenge too for people. So yeah, interesting.
So how do you? I mean, your profession is to a large part quite hands-on. So how do you do that kind of virtually? How do you work with the homes? Help me
Yeah.
understand a little bit about that.
Well, as a department, we kind of had to evaluate what's like really emergent, deemed an emergency or really, really urgent in terms of the physical things that we need to address, because you just can't really assess a person's wheelchair or do the modifications that you need to do through a computer. So
Right.
Aaron Thompson, the physiotherapist, has really been the one kind of lead from the department going into the homes so we can kind of reduce the risk that way. And so anything going to get streamed through her. If it's really urgent and needing to be addressed, she goes in. If she can't go in, then one of us will go and figure that side of things out. But the preventative stuff, like our seating clinics, have unfortunately been put on hold, obviously, because that involves a large number of people around one person. We have usually 2 technicians that are coming in to assess the wheelchair, an occupational therapist, a physiotherapist, and staff. And we usually do try to do the group homes all at the same time. So we usually go through 4 or 5 people. And so there's just no way for us to kind of do that right now. So we're, I think, anticipating quite a backlog or kind of like some issues coming up down the road of things that we haven't been able to address that we're going to run into when things get back to normal. So the physical side of things and the physios are definitely feeling that probably more than the OTs, but it's been very challenging to address those issues.
And you guys have been coming up with some, I guess, unique kind of challenges, if you like, unique programs to keep the folks that are actually stuck in the homes entertained, if that's the right way of putting it, in some form or fashion. I mean, I've seen some of the guys at virtual campouts and roasting marshmallows over virtual fires, and so what else is in the pipeline? What else can we look forward to over the next week or so?
Well, I have to give the credit to Emily Weatherbed for doing most of that. Like she's the one putting together all the communications and like the pictures and stuff for everybody, and we all contribute ideas, but she's really taken the lead on that. So it's not me. But, well, May the 4th is next week, so if that gives you any clue as to what the challenge might be around. It might be Star Wars themed, I don't know. But we're also working on, we're in the process of working on trying to provide virtual wellness groups, with including some of the other clinicians as well. So that's in process. We're trying to get that out as soon as possible, but just to provide some more services around, mental health and coping, and making sure that people are connecting and keeping those important social relationships going between the group homes and across the organization, and even maybe looking outside the organization for those people that we serve at day programs and things like that. So that's also in the works.
Good. So, yeah, I mean, I think, as I said at the outset, I mean, using this kind of technology, using this means of communication, has certainly exploded over the last 6 or 7 weeks. In fact, I had a look at some data, and in terms of Blue Jeans use, in comparison to the same time period last year, our Blue Jeans use is up over 1,000%. So that's not surprising. And this hopefully gives folks who have not participated in this kind of medium an opportunity to see what it's like to communicate through this means. It also gives them hopefully a bit of a snapshot into some of the opportunities that it's presented, and also some of the challenges that it presents. So listen, Jessica, Chantel, thanks very much. I appreciate your time. Keep up the good work. And hopefully at some point in the not too distant future, we'll actually be able to see each other in the flesh. So anyhow, in the meantime, you guys take care. Thanks very much.